a whole, I don't know how many hours late, but before today, these only ever saw 4 blooms. Today, there are 9. 8. There were 4, only 4 blooms, and that has doubled to 8. A lot of misinformation hopping around. I'll do a little video on them by themselves if anybody's interested. I'm regrowing my roselle to put in those huge planters because it didn't go right. I have these 2 onions and micro thyme in the middle. These are my cucumbers. I believe I'm going to end up pulling this one and just using this one back here. But we'll see. I'm going to see which one jumps up faster. There's the new trellis for the cucumbers. And the wasps are disappointed, to say the least. They keep coming over here looking for that wood stand. It's gone, child. Yeah, this is another patio I have coming up after this one. This one is not doing well at all. Like, there are 2 fruit on it, and they're not very big. They're just bigger than cherry size. And yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. Maybe it's the planter, maybe it's how deep or how shallow I planted it. I meant to plant it deep, but I wound up planting it shallow because this transplant came out shoddy, so I needed to do the safe thing at the time. Anyway, the safest thing for the roots. Here are a couple of tiny Tims. Tamia, got 2 of her in here. This front row of spinach, for which it is too hot. I have these, I don't know if these are iceberg or rodinas, but I really love how lush and fresh those leaves are on that thing. But Mr. Sister loves buttercrunch, so this is what I'm growing for her. And I'll be growing another row of it. I'm trying to see what's going on with my red leaf lettuces. They are really struggling and have been for the last 2 years. But I am determined this year to get some red leaf lettuce. These are my onions. 2 of these are just the regular bunching onions. Yeah, so this is looking pretty sad in the front area. That's okay, we're gonna get it together because I'm gonna start decorating all of my beds with violas because I'm so in love with them right now. Nadia, onions. I keep saying green onions, but these are red onions. I'm just using the stalks, the green stalks, for green as chives. So I say green onion. I have a tendency to say green onions. Anyway, another micro thyme in front. Can't wait till that gets tall enough to start leaning it toward the inside of the deck. In that little raised bed, in the pot is going to be the sorrel, and in this little raised bed are onions, which you can actually see. More red onions, for which I'm going to use the green stalks. Across the back, I have Nadia, 4 of her. I will have 3 okra in here. And I have 2 rows of these green beans for us. Moringa over here. I'll have another matching one on the opposite end. Step back. I have one here. I'll have another one matching on the opposite end. It was in there. I dug in there to plant a new seed, and the root was in there. So I hope I didn't ruin that. I hope it's still going to pop up. So if it doesn't pop up in the next couple of days, then I'll just plant another seed. Those moringa grow real fast. Matter of fact, I should do a time lapse. Not a literal time lapse. Well, maybe a literal time lapse, but I should do a time lapse for y'all for day-to-day growth on this, so y'all can see how fast it's growing, because these are patio tomatoes, I believe. The only black tomato someone could claim that I don't have would be the Midnight Snack, but the Midnight Snack black cherry tomato is the same as the Indigo Rose. So let's just let them believe that they are exposing me, shall we? Because, you know, you gotta let trolls do their job. They gotta be great too. Shit. Here's a black cherry. Here's are all my And here are, speaking of the variety, here are my varieties of black cherry. This is, these two are black cherry, as you can see by them behaving exactly the same, although one is in a pot and one is in the ground. And this is Indigo Rose, and I think it's worth noting that this is not Indigo Rose from the seed, but a cutting that from the plant that I brought out too early and it died. So I'm keeping her alive. My problem with this is the way I just chose to do this is I'm not going to know how an Indigo Rose behaves from seed outdoors, and that's what I want to know. I don't have the room this go around. I just primarily want to make sure I get seeds, more seeds than I had, because I only had 8, girl. Had 8 of each. 8 black cherry, 8 Indigo Rose, and y'all know that would never do. This is what the herb bed is looking like. Opal basil there in the middle. I have oregano on the left side. I have cilantro on the right side. And then I have my violas. One in the front here and one in back there. And it's looking really sad because I actually took a piece of this and made one in the back because I consciously wanted to do it this way. I wanted cilantro and upper basil in the middle. It's going to be so pretty when it's a big old purple stalk of it. This is a moringa. That's right, folks. Gonna have a moringa at the front porch. We didn't bother picking up this skull. Y'all remember that? It was last season. There's Ruby. She's being great. I have started, you can see at the bottom, I've started mulching her with herself, and she seems to love it. But I go ahead and harvest what needs to be harvested, and I mulch her with herself, and man, she thrives. That's about it. So then I take these, so in order to place these back into the makeshift vase, I actually line them up to where the bottoms are even. That's why when I deadhead them, I try to pinch them at the base, so they're all, so all the stems have some length on them. These are dried, so they're falling off. And I keep them in a small cardboard box. You could use any old box, in fact, though. You know, it could be something small or simple. It could be the box from some Italian dressing that you make, you know. But I like to keep it in something cardboard to keep them dry. Look how pretty they still are. Look how pretty they're still nice and purple. It's very beautiful. You can sprinkle them on top of salads or on top of finished meals. And that's when you don't have fresh petals to pick from like I do here. All you gotta do is pick, they come right off. You saw the other ones fell off. I'm gonna hold it between these fingers and just show you how that, see, it pulls right off. So I just peel all of them off and add them to the bunch and toss away the spent stems unless something has a seed pod that I'm trying to use, which, you know, after only a week or 2 of blooms, you should have as many seeds as you should ever need in life. Y'all know how plants work by now, I think most of y'all, in the simplicity of that regard.